Hey folks, it's me, Joseph, coming at you again with another episode of Art and the Garden, the series where I share with you two things I have an enormous passion for: my art and my container garden. If you're ready, let's grow. I've already started and I have blocked in, did the drawing and blocked in some color with watercolor pencils. This is another okra flower that I'm doing, but I'm going to do a little something different this time. I'm going to work with both watercolor pencils and acrylic paint. And again, I've already started with blocking in the color with the watercolor pencil, doing the drawing, doing the rough drawing, and then blocking in the color watercolor pencils. Now I'm blending. I'm blending the watercolor pencils, and just want to talk a little bit about what this episode is all about. This I always try to finish my growing season in my container garden with an episode that is what I call hits and misses. And that's what this video is all about. Some of those things that I consider hits and some misses. And I had a lot more hits this year than last year. A lot more hits than misses by a long shot. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to kind of take you through some of my hits and misses, and hopefully you enjoy it. But anyway, I'm going to get back to this painting real quick, and this is a larger piece that I am doing. I'm working on canvas, and what I've noticed is that watercolor pencils take real well even to canvas surfaces. And that was a surprise. This is not the first time I've worked with watercolor pencils on canvas, but this is the first time I'm going to sort of combine the two mediums to see what it comes out to, how it all turns out. One thing I've learned is I have this love for this okra flower. Such a beautiful flower, and I discovered that last year when I was first tried growing okra, and did extremely well, but I had no idea what to expect during that growing season. And when that flower bloomed and I saw how beautiful it was, I had to do a piece in watercolor pencils, and it turned out really well. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to keep working on this a little bit more, and I tell you what, let's head out to the garden real quick. I'm gonna stop. Let's head out to the garden, and let me give you a quick update on some of my hits and misses. All right, let's check it out. Just an overall look at the garden. I had a really good growing season, and I was really impressed. So I'm going to kind of share with you some of my hits and misses, and hopefully you find it informative as well as enjoyable. So again, I had some really wonderful success with several crops, and I'm going to start off with the garlic. The garlic that I planted in the fall, as you see it, after several months, it died. The leaves began to die down, and I knew that it was time to harvest the garlic. So I didn't put a lot down, but I did about 2 containers with about 3 to 4 cloves in each one. I started off with store-bought garlic, and just, it was all experimental for me. So I started off, and everything after a few months did pretty good. It was my first attempt at growing garlic, and everything seems to have went really well. So I have to consider this one of my hits for this growing season. And I was very impressed with it. So this is what that looks like. And after harvesting the garlic, here I have them harvested, and what I did next was I braided everything. I braided them up and found a place for them to cure for a couple of weeks. And this is what that looks like. I braided the leaves up and again found a place for it to cure. I also started my tomatoes, which were really great. I started them from seeds and starter plants. After they grew out in seeds for a while, I transplanted everything to larger containers. And I grew a wide variety of tomatoes. I had early girls from seeds. I had beef steaks from seeds. I had Romas from seeds, but I also had some bush cherries and other cherry varieties from starter plants. And here's a good example of that bush cherry. And everything here went extremely well. I was really impressed. I treated everything throughout the season with neem oil for the insects, but also fertilized with with nitrogen and high nitrogen at first, but then once it started to fruit, I changed to some phosphorus, a little bit of bone meal, but my fertilized ratio was a 4-6-4 ratio, and so that was really great. And another thing I found out while pruning, when I had to prune my tomato plants, I found out that when you prune and remove the suckers, when you remove the suckers from the tomato plants, these here, you can actually put these in soil and water, and once give it about a week or two, couple of weeks, they'll root, and you can expand your tomato harvest just like I did here, with not necessarily starting from seeds, but from suckers that I trimmed. Again, I had a wide variety of aromas and cherries, beefsteaks, early girls, you name it. I had a huge harvest and gave quite a few away to several people. My only miss was these hornworms that drove me crazy, but I was able to handle those as well. My okra, again, started from seeds with the okra, and eventually transplanted from the seed cups to larger containers. And then I eventually broke those down, and I had about 7 okra containers growing, and did extremely well. Now, this wasn't my first time growing okra. Oh my goodness. And when that flower comes, right behind it there, you have your okra plants. And I did extremely well. Another crop that I gave a lot away was the okra. I also did pretty well with a variety of peppers. Here, this bell pepper started from a starter plant and did extremely well. And I was impressed when I harvest these first round of peppers. They were great. When I looked at the second batch of peppers that were growing. They were extremely small, and I'm not sure about that. But oh wow. I had a great success with cayennes. Poblanos were small compared to what you find in the stores. But the cayenne peppers and stuff were in abundance. And another crop that I shared with other friends and family members. I even had a habanero. This sugar baby melon started from one seed, and it grew out over a couple of weeks or about a month or so. Several fruits popped up, and I cut those back and only focused on this particular one. I wanted to just see how well this one would grow, and here we have this one sugar baby melon, beautiful melon. When I cut into it, I was thoroughly impressed, beautiful. And when I tasted it, the taste was absolutely great. So another one of my, what I consider hits that I look forward to growing again next year. Also, I focused on growing another round of potatoes. These russet potatoes. I started from store-bought potatoes. The first time I grew potatoes, I grew red potatoes and had to deal with the potato beetles just going at the leaves. This time I treated them regularly with neem oil, and they did really well, in my opinion. And then once the leaves began to sort of die down, I knew that it's quite possibly time to go ahead and harvest these russet potatoes. And so that's when I found that this actually turned out to be a much better harvest than I thought, because I didn't know what to expect. But as I dumped out the container and started counting the potatoes, I was really impressed with what I was seeing. And yeah, so I would consider my potato harvest another hit. And so, yeah, this would be another crop that I will probably look at putting in containers early, sometime in the fall. But I mean, wow, I was again impressed with how these turned out as well. So that's sort of my hits and misses for this growing season. And I want to say I was very impressed. I had a lot more hits than misses this growing season. So, hey, if you like what I'm doing, I hope you do. You can always support what I'm doing by going to my website, and the artwork that you see in the series can be purchased on my website. You can buy some prints, and those print purchases really and truly support what I'm doing. So, hey, thanks for watching. Hope to see you again real soon, okay? Bye-bye.